When you first moved to Oakland, that was your first stop in California?
Right.
And
No. Marin City was before
Marin
Oakland.
City? Okay.
Then Oakland.
Well, you left Baltimore and came to Marin City.
Yes.
And when you were in Baltimore, you were in a school of the performing arts.
Yes.
How come you didn't enroll in one when you came to California?
I couldn't find one when I came to California, and I was broke, so I had to go to a regular high school.
But you eventually dropped out, right?
Yeah, sure did. I didn't have enough credits. Like, everybody was about to graduate. I went into the 12th grade, was about to graduate, everything. Right before I was about to graduate, they was like, you got to come back next year and get a health credit and a physical education credit. And I was like, oh, hell no. I had just barely made it out with money coming to school and lunch money and all that. I said, I got to get paid. I got to find a way to make a living. So I dropped out, knowing that I would have graduated. It wasn't no big thing. Not to say that y'all shouldn't graduate, but for me at that particular time, it was more important that I found somewhere to live.
And what did you do when you stopped going to school?
I only had 2 jobs ever in my life. One was in Round Table Pizza. I used to make the pizza, but it was good. It was the perfect job, Tabitha, because I was hungry and I got to like eat all the toppings off people's pizza. That's why, because everything is right there. Could you imagine? I was making pizzas on the side, bringing pizzas home. I'm calling in my own deliveries. You know? Let me get 2 shrimp with everything. But that job, I lasted about a month. Then I worked as the guy that packs your bags in the supermarket for about, 2 weeks. Then the dude kept catching me writing raps by the time clock. I used to be like, I'm gonna write for
Instead
an
of
hour,
loading people's groceries.
She could carry her own shit. So
Did it ever occur to you that you might be able to get scholarships to go to college, or was that just not even an issue?
I always wanted to go to college, but I wanted to go to college and be comfortable. Like how people, I don't know, this might be presumptuous, but like I know a lot of people that are in college, they have their lives already okay, you know what I mean? Like someone's paying for them to go to college. They have somewhere to live. They have somewhere to live while they're going to college. They get money, all that. Somebody can pay their tuition and all of that. I don't have that. And until I can have that, I can't go to college, even though I want to, because that turned me on.
With all the encouragement that you got in Baltimore at the High School of Performing Arts for your acting, did it ever occur to you to come out to California and be a professional actor here when your mom moved out here?
Nah, that was the last thing on my mind. When I came to California, I was broke, nowhere to stay.
What do you mean nowhere to stay?
I didn't have anywhere to stay. I was staying with a friend of a friend of a friend of my mother.
Why weren't you staying with your mother?
Because she was in Baltimore, and we didn't have any lights and electricity. We was about to get evicted, so she sent me first. How mothers do. Protect the young. So I went out there broke. I wasn't even thinking about acting. I was just thinking about surviving. But such is life. I ended up doing it, what I love the most. I ended up doing both of those things.
During that time when you went to California, your mother was in Baltimore. Is that when she was a crack addict?
No, she was addicted to crack when I was in California. First week in California. What's up? All right, what's happening?
And what was that like to have a mother who was addicted to crack?
I love my mom. She the bomb to me, so
I know
love
she
all
is
her
now,
mistakes.
but what about then?
It was hard. It was hard because, she was my hero.
Did
She
you
is my
ever
hero.
have any temptation with crack?
Never, ever, never. My father died like that, but the man that I knew was my father. The man that I knew was my father, he died with cocaine, so it was never my thing.
And why do you think that your mother had that time of weakness with crack?
Everything was just going bad for her. It's harder for a woman to raise a family than it is for a man.
Give me a characterization of your childhood. How would you describe what it was like growing up?
I was the total opposite of what I am right now. I was quiet, withdrawn. I read a lot. I wrote poetry. I kept a diary. I watched TV all the time. I stayed in front of a television. I went to movies, everything.
What did you do that was, it seems like going from a homeless shelter to a project or having to worry about having enough food on the table must have been very difficult. How did you deal with that? Were there any therapeutic ways for you to heal yourself?
I smoked weed. I hung out with the drug dealers and the criminals, and I got...
And that made you feel better?
Interestingly enough, yes, because they have those same problems, and they found a way to get out of it. As a kid, this is what I was thinking.
And so did you end up selling drugs also because those were your
I think I tried
models?
selling drugs for maybe 2 weeks. Then the dude was like, "Oh man, give me my drugs back," because I didn't know how to do it. I sell, somebody didn't pay me back. I'd be like, "Oh, it's okay."
Smoke most of it?
Yeah, no, I never smoked it. Never smoked it. I just be like, "It's okay. You don't have to pay me back." Dudes would give me their watch and say, you know, "Give me this amount for my watch."
Like you were a pawn shop all of a
Yeah,
sudden?
and I give him his watch back, and he didn't give me no money. So dude's like, "No more for you." So then the dope dealers used to just look out for me when I would come back from school. They'd just give me money and be like, "Don't get involved with this. Get out there, do your dream." So they was like my sponsors.
How did you go from making pizza to being in Digital Underground?
I used to rap everywhere. I was one of those people, man. I put my tape in the tape deck. I interrupt talks, conversations, and just start rapping. So I met up one person hooked me up with another person, this lady named Layla. Introduced me to Adrian Gregory, who was managing Digital Underground. He was like, "I'm gonna send you to Digital Underground, they're in the studio. You just rap for Shock G on the spot. If he like you, then I'll pick you up."
And so what was your first interaction with Shock G? Was he totally impressed?
Yeah, I just walked in, rapped for him. He's like, "Okay, good, you're in. Boom, boom, boom. I'll see you later." And I just left, walked out of there like, "Dag."
Was he wearing that big nose thing
Nah,
for
he
it?
was just chilling. He was just normal.
Do you look back on those days with fondness or a little embarrassment?
I look back with the greatest fondness. Those were like some of the best times of my life because.
Well, when I mentioned Digital Underground to you yesterday, you were like, duh!
No, because it just brings back like silly. Yeah, I guess it's
I mean,
embarrassing too, but it's all funny to me. It's all good. The silly parts is like me running around in zebra print underwears, and we had like the funniest, craziest show. I think hip hop need another Digital Underground right now.